Internet warrior for human rights or Russia's useful idiot, Julian Assange as ever divides opinion, but the founder of WikiLeaks may be on the move. Julian Assange has been the prisoner of Knightsbridge for the last 6 years. In 2012 he jumped British bail and entered the Ecuadorian embassy behind me. Now the word is people in the embassy are beginning to think their guest has overstayed his welcome, and someone else may think that too. His name is Lenin Moreno and he's the president of Ecuador. If that's true, that spells trouble for Julian Assange.
Request permission to engage.
Roger that. We have no personnel east of our position.
This is the footage that made the Australian-born hacker world famous.
We got a guy with an RPG.
Shot in 2007 in Iraq.
Come on, fire!
It shows a US Apache helicopter gunning down 2 Reuters journalists and others in cold blood.
Keep shooting.
The data leak came from Chelsea Manning, a former US soldier convicted but now pardoned by Barack Obama. The genius behind the hack was Julian Assange. But a few months later, Sweden wanted to question Assange on charges of rape and sexual assault. Assange denied guilt, but ended up in the Ecuadorian embassy. In 2016, WikiLeaks released emails from the Democratic Party machine, damaging Hillary Clinton and helping Donald Trump. The US intelligence community now says that Russia's main intelligence directorate, the GRU, used WikiLeaks to release hacked information in order to influence the 2016 US presidential election. Not very diplomatic. James Ball worked with Julian Assange in 2010, but later fell out with him.
They're not arguing over whether he's a terrible house guest who doesn't do the washing up. They've got some real diplomatic problems with stuff he's been doing, and that's leaked out. While he's under asylum, he needs to stop interfering in politics. And then he really kind of screwed his card with them by interfering and sort of posting a lot on the sort of Catalonian independence question. Now, Spain's quite a good sort of friend and ally of Ecuador. They help them out a lot. They've got a close relationship. And so having their sort of most famous sort of asylee interfering against their politics was a real headache.
Since March, the embassy has cut Mr. Assange off from the internet, banned phone calls and visitors. He is allowed to see his lawyer though. President Moreno, elected last year, has said, "I have never been in favour of Mr. Assange's activity." If evicted, the British may well prosecute for jumping bail. Sweden could then reopen its rape case, but the United States could seek to extradite him for treason, punishable by death.
The UK should not accede to any extradition request for the United States. Firstly, because it would be wrong, and plainly so. And secondly, because in practice it would be a complete nightmare. In this country, historically, we've been quite resistant to the extradition of people for political purposes. And let's be clear, the reason why the US has been after Julian Assange for many years is because he has repeatedly embarrassed the US government by publishing information that they would rather keep secret.
But which secrets? In 2010, they were American. The secrets in 2016 might well be driven by Russian hacking.
There's likely a sealed indictment relating to Assange's work in 2010, which a lot of people still support and think he shouldn't be prosecuted for. But there's also the chance that Mueller could come out with an indictment relating to 2016 or any one of a number of other leaks. So you could end up with a strange tussle over who takes precedence and who takes priority.
The pressure is piling on the prisoner of Knightsbridge. In June, US Vice President Mike Pence visited Ecuador. There's no question that WikiLeaks shone light on American brutality in Iraq. But Julian Assange may also be the key that unlocks the Trump-Russia collusion puzzle. And that suggests his stay in the embassy may not end with a box of Ferrero Rocher.
John Sweeney there, the Ecuadorian Foreign Ministry, told Newsnight there's no indication that Mr Assange will be leaving the embassy. They said, we are looking for a solution and are working with all parties involved.